So our story here begins with Tsarist Russia. We are nearing the end of 300 years of Romanov rule, the Romanov dynasty. Russia being ruled by a family leadership for 300 years, dating back before the Enlightenment. Now, picture yourself in Russia looking towards Western Europe and the United States here in the late 19th century. The American Revolution, 1776, the French Revolution, 1789. The West has reconceived its societies as collections of individuals, as collections of people. People no longer defining themselves in terms of the body of the monarch. And yet here in Russia, we still have a czar. So there's this strong sense among intellectuals, educated peoples, that something needs to happen. Russia is behind, and ideas are pouring in from Western Europe in particular. Now in Tsarist Russia, were engineers. Why would one become an engineer, and who became engineers? The story is typically European. Engineers, first of all, to become engineers, would attend institutes. Institutes were institutions of higher education that were built alongside and distinct from university systems, which trained young men to be gentlemen, introducing them to the classics and introducing them to law, theology, medicine, philosophy, and the like. While institutes developed as a site of practical education, and as a site of practical education had somewhat lower status than the more exalted training that took place in universities. So who attended institutes in order to become engineers? The background model for this, to understand this, lies in the system of primogeniture and the class structure that vested some groups with more power over others by virtue of holding land. We had landed gentry. Firstborn sons in the system of primogeniture succeeded to ownership of the lands, while second-born sons, third-born sons, and the like had to go somewhere else. They often were encouraged to go off into the profession so they might maintain a high-class status while also gaining a trade that would produce income. So engineering lived in Russia, as it did elsewhere in Europe, in a curious kind of way as a site of either upward mobility or as a vehicle for maintaining some fairly high-class status. So it drew primarily from the middle and upper middle classes.